Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're talking about the Chicago Bears versus Minnesota Vikings Week 17 matchup based on analytics. Each week, I like to collect all of the current 2017 NFL team data in order to analyze and project potential NFL performance. And since it's a weekly collection, there's always going to be some variation between various variables. However, there's always going to be little nuggets of truth that could become bigger nuggets of truth as the season continues. So stick around as I analyze each week's matchups based on analytics. And if you're new to the channel, all terms and definitions will be in the description. So, starting with this matchup between the Bears and the Vikings. When you look at the NFL stat basic comparison data, and basic comparison data is the basics. It's looking at how the offense is performing, how the defense is performing, and how the special teams is performing based on various team-based statistics based on all the data since the 1998 NFL season. And based on all this information, the Vikings are pretty much heavily favored. There really isn't much to say. I mean, the Vikings are heavily favored in this game. So let's get into some reasons why. First off, the Vikings just have a superior offense. When you look at turnover ratio, the Vikings are favored. When you look at sack percentage, the Vikings are favored. The Vikings basically don't allow as many sacks compared to the Bears. And when you look at offensive score percentage, the Vikings just kind of blow the Bears out of the way when it comes to their ability to put points on the board. So all three major offensive categories, the Vikings are just dominant when it comes to those. And then when you get to the defensive side of the football, the Vikings are also better there as well. They have better defensive offensive score percentage and better interception percentage. Now, I will say this, though. The Bears have a better turnover ratio and a better sack percentage. So the Bears are able to kind of sack the quarterback more often and create turnovers more often. But by far the most important statistic when it comes to defensive data, team data especially, is defensive offensive score percentage, which essentially is the ability to prevent points from being put on the board, which makes perfect sense why. If you're good at preventing points or preventing teams from putting points on the board, then you're most likely going to win more football games. And in this particular area, it should be clear that the Vikings just have the better defense from that perspective. The Bears definitely are able to kind of do more sexy things, but not necessarily do they do better things in terms of the other sort of areas of defense. But the overall theme that you should take from all this information is that the Vikings are favored over the Bears. Now, when you get to some other sort of data points, so now we're getting into some micro data or different down and distance data. When you look at the Bears offense versus the Vikings defense, when it comes to completion percentage data, pretty clearly favors the Vikings here on first, second, and third down, further kind of underscoring the major advantages the Vikings will have in this game. And then, of course, you get to the Vikings offense versus the Bears defense, where there's very clearly an advantage for the Vikings as well on first, second, and third down. Again, the Vikings offense is just very, very good when it comes to completion percentage, and this is just kind of shows those advantages here. Then you get to rushing downs between the Bears offense and the Vikings defense. Again, this deals with first down conversion rate with the run. This has nothing to do with yardage or explosive plays. It purely has to do with the ability to convert first downs and various downs and distances with running plays. Or with the run. And in this particular area, the Vikings defense is favored on first and third down. Very, very solid run defense, I would say, for the Vikings in terms of preventing first downs on first down and also finishing the deal on third down. And then, of course, we get to the Vikings offense versus the Bears defense, where the Bears defense is favored on first, second, and third. Well, not third down, but first and second. So the Bears defense, I think, will also have a little bit of success stopping the run in this game as well. Then, of course, you get to passing downs between the Bears offense and the Vikings defense, where the Vikings defense is favored on second and third down. The Vikings defense is not exactly amazing on first or second down when it comes to preventing first downs. However, they have been very good in terms of stopping teams on third down. When they are able to put teams into third down situations, they get them. They do really well in terms of that particular area of their game. So definitely kind of an advantage for them in that way. And then, of course, we get to the Vikings offense versus Bears defense, where the Vikings offense has the clear advantages on second and third down. The Vikings, the one kind of big Achilles heel for them has been the inability to create first downs on first down. I think a lot of that is because of offensive design. They're a very West Coasty offense. Not really about taking major shots down the football field, if you will, in terms of first down situations. But they still get it done on second and third. So definitely advantage here for the Vikings in terms of that particular area of the football field. Then, of course, we get to the Bears offense versus Vikings defense when it comes to sack rate, where the Vikings are favored on first and third down when it comes to sacks. So definitely area here where the Vikings will have some advantages. Then, of course, you get to the Bears offense, the Vikings offense, versus the Bears defense, where the Bears will have advantages on second and third down. So the Bears have been so good at getting sacks this year that I do think that they will get some in this particular game. I mean, it may not happen per se, but I do think when you look at third down situations especially, that's definitely an area of the field where I think the Bears might be able to get a sack here or there in those situations. Then, of course, you get to interception ratio between the Bears offense and the Vikings defense, where the Vikings defense is favored on first and third down. And then finally, you look at the Vikings offense versus Bears defense, where the Vikings offense is favored on first, second, and third down. So I would not expect too many interceptions coming from them in that particular area of the football field. So overall, general thoughts and opinions about this particular game. I think it's a Vikings victory. Should not be that surprising. The only thing I worry about is the Vikings sitting guys or trying to do funny business and stuff like that because it's the final game of the year until the playoffs come. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully they play the game as solidly as they can. Don't come into this game with the idea that we are going to, which just happens a lot. Playoff teams come into the last game of the year as if they're looking forward to the playoff game. They're not really focused on this game. And hopefully that isn't the case, because if the Bears do win this game, I would say it would be because of the Vikings maybe looking forward to the next game, looking forward to the playoffs and not really paying attention to this one that much. Whereas the Bears would actually have more of an incentive to win this game in some ways because they kind of want to finish the season off on a high note. As most losing teams want. Most losing teams would like to finish the season with a win versus a loss. But this is definitely one of those examples where I think the Vikings, despite some of the sort of things that are in the background, I think they'll still be able to stick to their guns and have a very good performance in this game and ultimately get the W. And of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know. Hit that notification button so that you're always notified when another video of mine drops. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.